Alright guys, back with another video. This time it's on the Cummins swapped 2004 f250. Still got the original 5R110. And today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I finally was able to get the HP tuner to work on my truck. And now that I've got that, I've had the direct drive upgraded solenoid and the EPC solenoid, I think it is. I've had these upgrade ones I've actually had them for several years now. I just was kind of always like to wait until, you know, I'm going to do a transmission service or something to put it in. But seeing how I was able to get the HP tuner to work now, I decided I'm going to try to go ahead and put them in. And the reason I originally got them was, if you know anything about these 5R110s, whether it's swapped or it was original, they had an issue where sometimes you would get a shudder, like when you put it in reverse, or it feels like it's slipping in reverse. And I noticed it a little bit when the 6-liter was in it, how I'd have like a slight delay when I put it in reverse, and it would have a shudder at the same time if you gave it too much throttle. But with the Cummins in it, it's a little bit more noticeable, but it only really does it once I've been driving it around. So, and I've had it running, like I can back out of my driveway. It's got like a slight incline, which is fine. But if I'm on anything more than that, and I've been driving and it's warm, like if I try to back up this driveway after I've been driving around, it's not gonna do it. It's gonna throw it into, it's gonna, when I put it back in drive, it's gonna be stuck in like third gear or some shit. So some of the remedies I had saw, and that's why I got these, is the 5R110s are great transmissions. The only issues they had was over time of use, the solenoids in there would start sticking, and that would cause some of these symptoms. Well, these upgraded ones, actually, I think it gives me a little bit more pressure, which I know you can adjust the line pressure and stuff, you know, with a tune. But I'm gonna do this stuff in steps. I was able to get the HP tuner to work on my truck. It won't work. It would not work. It wouldn't let me tune it if I tried to read it straight, just right off the truck. Like, if some reason it wouldn't do it when the truck was in with no tune on it. So what I did is I just took this SCT that I had, flashed a tune into it, which there was no tune. All I did on the tune, it was completely stock tune. All I did was make sure I had my tire speed size in there, like what my RP, you know, whatever, my tire speed. I made sure I put the right one in there, and then I loaded it, and then I was able to run the HP tuner, and it was able to read it to where I can tune it now. So that's something I've been trying to figure out for a while. Because my understanding, I thought it was supposed to be in a stock form, which that is the case. If you go on the forums, on HP tuner forums and everywhere, they talk about these 03, 04 models with it's a black oak, whatever software, whatever operating system, I don't know exactly what, but if you ever read it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It says black oak 448, something like that. Okay, well, these trucks, for some reason, the VIN number is missing, and I'm not the only one that had this issue. This is why it took me some time to figure this out. And then I ran across a page on one of my, I think it was on one of my Cummins pages, or Cummins Tech or something, where there was a group on there. I think it's called 5R110 HP tuner. Here, let me pull it up real quick and I'll take a look. But yeah, either way, I was able to flash a tune with my SCT, and then the HP tuner read it. So now I can actually tune the transmission and get it better. But some of the things that I've seen from whatever is, yeah, Okay, so basically these 04s, I'm not 03 04s aren't, you know, I wasn't the only one. The VIN number is just missing, so there's nothing for the HP tuner to license to because there's no VIN in the PCM. Didn't matter what I did. I've even seen where even having it reflashed with a Ford, the IDS system, it still wouldn't work. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I was able to remedy it by flashing just flashing it with an SCT. I actually have an SCT X4 sitting here, so I was able just to run a flash on it, and then the HP tuner read it, and it'll let me tune it now, which now I can start getting my shifts a little bit better, which I've been driving this thing for over a year. I think I put about 13K, maybe 14K by now. And every day I've drove it out of town, Bradenton, Florida, from North Georgia, and fine, but it could use some tweaking, just because I have a Cummins, so it makes some power, makes its power and torque differently than the 6-liter, a lot lower to be exact. So that's going to be a learning for me, is figuring out how to adjust the stuff in the HP tuner to do what I want it to do. Like, I know what it needs, I just need to figure out how to translate that into the tune with the HP tuner. But yeah, I'm trying to remember what the heck that group was called. I've got it right. Yeah, it's called, the group that I was able to find this out on, where that's all they do is, it's called Cummins Trans Tuning. It's a group on Facebook that I asked the question on there if anybody ever run into the issue, because I was trying to do it without, well, the problem was with trying to do with the Ford, they seemed to be scared or worried that they were going to fry the computer in the truck, and then obviously it wouldn't do anything. But so I was trying to figure out a way to do it without doing it, and then after reading where even if I did use the full, reflashed it with the Ford IDS or whatever, that it still would possibly not work. And yeah, but yeah, it's called Cummins Trans. I asked that question in there, and then they I read somewhere you could maybe do something like that, but I wasn't 100% sure. But I was like, whatever, I'll try it. And sure enough, I tried it, and now I can use my HP tuner to adjust the transmission. And then some of the things that they were even saying is to upgrade these two solenoids, which I've had my solenoids since 2016. So they've been sitting here in a package, just between blown motors. I think I got it after the first motor blew up, or maybe the second motor, 6.0 something, I had got them. And then obviously when the motor blew, that was the last thing on mine, was switching out solenoids. So they just been sitting in the box with the plugs. These there's some plastic plugs in there. I've got the billet ones or whatever from Transgo. I was just always hesitant to mess with those two, because they are plugged in there, but I don't know if they're real sensors or not. So whatever. I think there's like 5 or 7. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what we're gonna do today, is swap out those solenoids. So here we go.
Look at that, that's nice and shiny.
Yeah, and something else, if you noticed already, while this is training, figured I would talk about that too. I already did the 08 to 10 pan swap on this and filter when I had the transmission. Well, I had to put a torque converter in it. I put a lower stall speed torque converter when I was doing the Cummins swap. For 2 different reasons, I decided to just go ahead and do it. First one was when I was trying to get the old motor out. The motor there's a hole in the side of the block. If you see some of my early videos of the swap, you can see where I think I did a hole. You can see where whatever. I couldn't spin the motor over, so I couldn't get the bolts out for the torque converter. So I pulled the engine with the old torque converter attached, and in doing so, the snout, I guess you'd call it, it got a burr on it. So I probably could have fixed it, filed it, and been fine, but I decided just to put a lower stall speed anyway, because the Cummins makes power a lot lower, so it really needs a lower stall speed. Some people might be able to tune it better, but it'll make it so much easier to tune the transmission if you already have the basic stuff taken care of, like a lower stall and whatnot. At least I think it will. But I did do the pan upgrade because I had to do away with the filter on the frame rail up there, the toilet paper roll, because it was in my way, and of the Cummins. Like, the AC compressor would hit it even when my engine pushed all the way back, doing the Cummins swap. I pushed the engine and stuff all the way back, just, so I would have plenty of room in the front of it. And I still got plenty of room behind it. I can put my fist behind it, the engine, the valve cover at the top and fit with my hand, At least I think I can. I don't know. I can put my hand in. There's enough room back there, but yeah, I already did that. The pan swap gives you a little bit more fluid, and it's a better filter. It's the direct swap. But I actually powder coated my pan while I had it, so I was like, I was messing around with the powder coat and stuff, so I decided to go ahead and powder coat the pan while I had it out. Or since it was brand new, I just powder coated because I used just a stock Ford pan. I may put aftermarket on it at some point, but this stocking works fine. At least it's been working fine. So first thing I did, obviously, after I dropped it, I guess, made sure it wasn't damaged. It didn't do anything. It just fell kind of in the oil pan. I pulled the seal, the O-ring off of that, so that I could push this plug out as soon as I figure out how. All right, I had to rush inside real quick because it started trying to rain on me. I'm like, God dang it, I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. So I'm trying to do this and hold the phone and record at the same time, but there's a little tab right here. You got to lift it. I got a little pocket screwdriver that all the tool trucks always give them to you for like a Christmas gift or something, but they come in handy for a lot of things. But yeah, you just hit that little clip and you twist the plug because you got to move it out of the way. Yeah, because I need that plug out of the way to be able to get. I think it's this solenoid. One of them I got to swap, but I'm gonna look at the paper in just a second. But yeah, see, then it'll come out because that's what I needed to do right there. It's also a good idea to remove this screw. I should be able to move it enough to be able to get it out, I hope. I'm trying to do it without damaging anything. Oh, there we go. Because it's in the way of that damn solenoid. If I'm not mistaken, this is the EPC solenoid, and that's one of them that I got to take out. E-clip. Okay. Get back with you. All right, so I swapped this one out. That's the EPC it has, you know, it has an E-clip or whatever right here. You pop that off and then it slides right out. Obviously the plug has to be out of the way. I know when to put it back in, and sat this back down. Now I think I gotta do the direct clutch, which is this one, SSPCD. It's this one. And then I did real quick off the camera. There is these plugs right here that are like, there was one here. There was 5 of them, and from my understanding, there are pressure switches, but there's no programming at any point where they were ever used. Like, so I got like this Transgo thing, and it had 5 of the, you know, the billet plugs or whatever, or steel or whatever that you swap out. I did have to squeeze the clips. It does say that in the instructions. This is the instructions. It literally says right here, it says, if replacing a switch, wire tie the loose connector to the nearest solenoid. Remember, the switches have no function and weren't used by the controller. So replacing a switch with a plug is okay. So hopefully this doesn't cause no issues. That's why I've always been reluctant to do it. Okay, never mind. These are aluminum plugs. It says 5 new aluminum plugs and O-rings are provided in the case, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I already read it once, but yeah, hopefully I don't have any issues with this. I'm about to put it back in the truck, so we'll see you then. Oh yeah, I took, and like it says in the instructions, it says zip tie the plugs to the nearest solenoid wire. So that's what I did. I guess I'm not sure if they do, but it seemed like I heard somewhere or seen somewhere where they make an updated harness for this that doesn't have those, but I don't know. I'll have to look more into it if it becomes an issue, but I don't know why it would, because I thought about it might have been for a second that maybe just being the fluid caused some kind of getting in the plug, but hell, the plugs inside the damn plugs are full of fluid, so I don't guess it makes any difference. Yeah, I'm working in the floor. If you didn't notice, I just was trying to get it done real quick. It started trying to rain on me, but I guess it's not gonna rain, so I don't know. I'm gonna get this back in here and go for a test drive. Well, obviously it's gonna take some time. I have to fill it back up with fluid. But yeah, it did say when I was putting this one in, you slide it in at 6 o'clock and then you turn it to 7 o'clock and it seats itself, and then obviously I put the clip back.